The next piece on our program is a march that we all probably know, Americans We by Henry Fillmore. He wrote this march in 1929. He dedicated it to all of us and was trying to capture the American patriotic spirit that we all hold so dear. So please enjoy this famous march by Henry Fillmore. The next piece on our program was written by Ralph Vaughan Williams, one of our most famous British composers. This is the English Folk Song Suite. When Dr. Benz asked me to put this program together, she said, think about the heritage of Pensacola, and also think about how we can bring in composers from different countries. And Vaughan Williams is by far one of our most famous British composers. The English Folk Song Suite of 1923, yes, written after that 1821 date that we're celebrating the bicentennial today, but he used folk songs that were around far before that 1821 date. And so something that happened in the 20th century is composers from different countries would collect folk songs and preserve them by adding them into pieces of classical music. And so you're going to hear folk tunes throughout this folk song suite. I hope that you enjoy the first and the third movement of Ralph Vaughan Williams' English Folk Song Suite.
There's the man.
The next march is Colonel Bogey by Alfred. And this is another example of an English march, but I chose it for all the golf fans in the audience. The last word in the title, bogey, for if you hit a ball and it's going off the wrong direction. In English, apparently this composer would whistle. And then, and this is the tune that he would whistle to share his bogey. So this is Colonel Bogey.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the captain of NAS Pensacola, Captain Tim Kinsella. Assisting him in the pledge will be his son Charlie Kinsella and Tim Kinsella.
You ready? You ready? 1, 2, 3. Loud.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. All right, boys. Thanks. You're welcome.
Please be seated.
Please be seated. So 200 years ago, right here, camped out, General Andrew Jackson, his troop were here, and they had to know this celebration that happened 200 years ago, 200 years from then, and the townspeople would gather. Probably be a lot of speakers that were correct about that. And one of them should have probably said, you know, General, the townsfolk might appreciate maybe a cool day in the fall. The only thing worse than that joke is how far I went to get to that joke. No, on behalf of the University of West Florida Historic Trust, my name is Collier Merrill, and I welcome everybody here today. And I would like to recognize UWF Historic Trust members that are in the audience today. Please stand. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank Rob Overton, who's here somewhere, and the staff of UWF Historic Trust. Thank y'all very much. I certainly want to thank my boss, Dr. Martha Saunders, who appoints the board of UWF Historic Trust, and we appreciate everything she has done. I want to thank the commission that's been put together to create this 200th anniversary, which is co-chaired by Judy Vince and Margaret Stringfield. Thank you very much. And also want a special thanks to Maria Goldberg, who serves on that committee and sometimes works for me. I want to give a thank you to Senator Scott for being here. A special thank you when he was governor. He came up here more than any other governor we had at that time, and come up here and go to ball games and go to things. And one day I dragged him all over the museum behind us and through the historic district, and I kept telling him about the 200th anniversary coming up in 5 years. And finally he said, Carter, I'm not going to be governor in 2021 anymore. I said, well, whatever you do, show up. So we appreciate Senator Scott being here. And we know we'll hear from him in a minute. And I want to thank, personal thank you to Sky Horse, the chief of the Santa Rosa tribe. Manu, my friend. As we created our town, you'll hear a lot about our history. There's also a town that was formed to the east of us, Destin, Florida. I know we got some members of the Destin family here today. They stand. Where are they? Are they here? Right here. Thank you, Parker, New Destin. It took a lot of people to get us here. There's way too many people to thank, but I'm still going to do it. A few of them that were important to me, and besides FPAN, Florida Public Archaeology Network, the Historical Society, previous boards that I see, Jerry Maygard here, very instrumental. A lot of people on the board, Dr. Benchley, have come through this and created what we're here today. But some of the old names of Mary Turner Rule and Norm Simon and Matt Curran and John Appleyard and John Daniels all came before here and did a great job. And I especially want to shout out to somebody I served with for a long time. It was Earl Bowden, who was chairman of this board for over 30 years. And glad to see you. How about a hand for everybody there? Would not be what we are today with the preservation and cultural tourism is what has happened in this special celebration we're having today. So, again, before Judy yanks me off of here, I appreciate everybody coming today on behalf of the Historic Trust, and we look to a fun event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Connor, and thank you for all you do for the Historic Trust. Look at this crowd. It is so good. Thank you all for showing up on a nice, cool autumn day. And I want to thank everyone who did this. All I really did was lead the band, and not really the band, but to everyone, the people that have the tents, the people that did the hard work during the pandemic. And we always had this as plan A. Bright, sunny summer day, no rain, no COVID, no nothing, no pandemic. We had a plan B, but we don't. I do want to tell you, if Mother Nature does rain on us, our venue, just go over to the Museum of Commerce across the street and we will carry on. It's all set up. So now, I do want to remember John Appleyard a bit because John educated all of us in many aspects of our history of Pensacola. And he was on this commission. He will always be on this commission, but unfortunately in memoriam. I want to thank Dr. Britton Braddock. Stand up. She's the leader of the band, right? And our UWF bands are providing, they had a wonderful performance just before this. Thank you very much, and they're not done yet. So I want all of you to take a look at your programs and look at the picture. Look at that picture. 200 years ago, on the same day, at the same time, at exactly the same spot, that Florida officially ceased to be a colony of Spain and began its entry into the United States of America as a territory. That is what it looked like. It was different. The remains of all of those buildings are still with us. They are about 2 feet underground, well protected. And so that is what it looked like, and I don't know what they thought would happen 200 years from 1821, but here we are, and we are their direct descendants. 1821 was just a huge turning point in our history. Everything changed. The culture changed, the religion changed, the government changed, everything changed, and we are still practicing what they developed 200 years ago. It was also, we are fortunate, I guess, to have the same hot weather that they had, but as you know, we've got some cooling machines, and I hope that helps. There are more in the village. I do want to thank you for coming. I appreciate it very much. Pensacolians really have a long history, and many of you know it in great detail, but all of you are aware of it. And thank you for coming. And now, let me welcome our UWF President, Martha Saunders, who makes sure that our historic campus of 8 acres in downtown Pensacola is well cared for and shared with the public. President Saunders.
Well, good morning, and it is such an honor to be with you today as we celebrate the anniversary of an important day in the history of our state. Now, since the establishment of Florida as a territory in 1821, a few other important events have taken place. In 1845, Florida became the 27th state in the Union. In 1913, the Naval Air Station was established, the cradle of naval aviation. And in 1963, the University of West Florida was founded to enhance opportunities for high-quality graduate and undergraduate education in Florida. And in 2001, the state of Florida entrusted to UWF the responsibility for the area on which we're now seated, known as Historic Pensacola. UWF takes great pride in preserving this 8-acre area in the heart of downtown Pensacola so it can be shared to educate the public. I hope you'll take some time and stroll around today and learn more about West Florida's deep and very interesting roots. Many thanks to the Planning Commission. This is not something we do every day. I think it's turned out really well. Thank you all for coming and enjoy your day.
Thank you, President Saunders. Now I want to bring up Reverend Freddie Tillis, who is pastor of the Allen Chapel Church in Pensacola, Florida. Reverend Tillis.
Well, hello, everyone. Before I start, I hope you all did not see the Navy flag fall on my head. I believe, and when I looked out, Senator Scott was not in his chair, and he ragged on me in the building about me being a 30-year Marine Corps veteran and he being in the Navy. So I don't know if he pushed the flag over or not. But to the established protocol that has recognized this group of distinguished individuals on the platform and out in front of you, and to the committee who thought enough of me to include me in this historic event. So to all of you, again, I say good morning. To give a microphone to a preacher or a politician can be a dangerous thing, but I promise I will stick to the guidelines. As I look at this celebration, I wonder what the 100-year anniversary would have looked like. Would we have had the chief on the platform? Would they have had someone looking like me on the platform? But look how far we come by the grace of God. There's a song that children sing, red and yellow, black and white, all are precious in God's sight. Escambia County has been blessed with legendary sports figures like Roy Jones Jr., Michelle Snow, Jerry Pate, Emmitt Smith, and I tried to pitch like him, but I never got there, Don Sutton and Derek Brooks. We have esteemed civic leaders, legendary lawyers, leaders in the field of medicine and education. We have a sheriff who is accessible. We have a mayor who is accessible. We have county commissioners who are accessible. We're known for many famous and infamous people and events. We have a newspaper who I read yesterday got a first place award for going above and beyond when this county had to beg FEMA to help us when the hurricane came. Newspapers are supposed to cover the storm, but the Pensacola News-Journal servicing this county went above and beyond to make sure that our citizens got the help they needed. And to Channel 3 and Pensacola News-Journal, as a Marine, I salute you. But we can be better. I love our mayor. Pensacola is within this county, and I salute Mayor Grover Robinson. And whatever he does, I'm going to support him. It broke my heart to hear he would not run again, but this city is in this county, and I love my friend Grover Robinson. As I said before, look how far we've come by the grace of God. But I believe God wants us to do more. As good as we are, we can be better. What if all of you people that own these businesses, when you put your commercials on during Thanksgiving and Christmas, and you say things like happy holidays, and all of your employees are out there, and I start counting the faces of the people of color, what if you had just 3 or 4 instead of 1 out of 50? What if you entrepreneurs and you business leaders and you owners, what if you paid your employees 2 hours a month to go to an underserved school in a minority community to mentor those children? There's a 3rd grader who has the potential to find a cure for breast cancer, but they will never get the opportunity because of circumstance. What if you sent your employees there and paid them? What if our religious leaders were not afraid to visit a congregation that don't look like them? What if we stopped having the 11 o'clock hour on Sunday in Escambia County? What if we stopped that from being the most segregated hour in the country? I have visited other houses of faith. I have preached from their pulpits. They have preached from my pulpits. What if we truly come together to make this county the best county in the world and lead our nation? Let's have the other 49 states send their people here to see how great Escambia County is. If you believe that, if that's in your heart, stand and give Escambia County a round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Reverend Tellis. Now I would like to bring a member, actually the chief of the Santa Rosa Creeks, Chief Dan Skyhorse Helms. Please welcome Chief Helms.
200 years ago on the streets of Pensacola, you may have encountered someone that was dressed as I am. And you may have heard words like these spoken. Hisje estongo, chotlako sukodmiko, jajevkados. Icho hatbi ojes, is yoboskita iyejes. I said, hello, how are you? I'm Chief Skyhorse. I have deer tides I want to trade. You have just heard the Muskogee language, spoken openly and publicly here in Pensacola for the first time in 191 years. The Indian Removal Act of 1830 not only banned our language from being spoken, but our ceremony this morning, the sunrise Muskogee prayer, would have been illegal. The Indians of the Creek Confederacy provided commodities such as hides, cattle, corn, hogs, tobacco, sassafras, and the list goes on. These commodities helped build the city of Pensacola into the largest mercantile center in the Southeast. Records show as many as 250,000 hides were traded in the peak years. This great city was founded by people of various heritage and culture. They came together in harmony and unity of purpose. That purpose was to create a better life for themselves and their descendants. Today we are in the unique position of being the descendants of our ancestors and the ancestors of our descendants. It is up to us to pass on to the children all the good qualities which brought us to this time and place. By the same token, we must admonish them not to embrace the destructive ideas and actions that serve to oppress and hold at bay unity and harmony. When our people pray, as we did this morning, we pray for all of our relations, the two-legged, four-footed, finned, winged, and all the plants growing upon this earth. It is imperative that we realize our place in this world is not one of entitlement, but one of obligation. And it is our obligation to give care and protection to Mother Earth and to all of our relations. Our native ancestors stood on these shores and watched as the first sails appeared on the horizon. And today, Bomogen Hiyajas, we are still here. It may surprise you to know that I am not the only Creek Indian on this stage today. In closing, there is no word for goodbye in the Muskogee language. So as our people say, Hatam Chihi Chatlis, I will see you again. Mado, thank you.
Thank you, Chief Skyhorse. We appreciate it. Now, I want to bring up someone we all know. He is one of our 2 United States Senators for Florida and former governor of the great state of Florida, Senator Rick Scott, who is joined by his wife, Ann. Welcome them, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. First off, it's great to be here. Ann and I, this is my wife, Ann. We had a wonderful time as governor, and we had the opportunity to come here a lot. I want to, first off, congratulate you for the wonderful people you've elected to send to Tallahassee, and also your local leadership, because we were able to get a lot of things accomplished while we were here. If you need anything in DC, I'm doing my best to try to be helpful. Michaela Gerwin runs, if Michaela will stand up, she runs our local office. We have 9 offices around the state. Any issue you deal with, give us a call. But congratulations on all your success. I agree with Collier. This would have been nice if Jackson would have taken over Pensacola about 6 months later or earlier, because it would have been a lot better weather. In the time capsule, we're going to put in a hat, one of my Navy hats, not a Marine hat. Signed by Ann and me. So congratulations. If you need anything, give me a call. It's wonderful to be here on a beautiful, hot Pensacola day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Senator Scott. Thank you, Ann, for coming to help us commemorate this very special day in Pensacola's history. And also extremely important to the history of Pensacola and the United States presence in Pensacola. We have the commanding officer of our Naval Air Station Pensacola, who represents the strong and powerful military presence throughout West Florida. Navy Captain Timothy Kinsella.
Very warm morning to everybody. Reverend Tilson, Chief Skyhorse, there are very powerful words from you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Senator Scott, where'd you go? Love the hat. I've been in the Navy over 32 years now, and I've seen plenty of ups and downs. But there's one thing I'm really sure the Navy got right, as my good friend Mongo out there in the crowd will tell you, is I'm very grateful for short sleeve white uniforms in the summertime. 200 years ago today, a son of Irish immigrants from the beautiful County Antrim stood here in full military dress uniform, the beads of sweat running down his back, to accept the transfer of Florida on behalf of the United States government from the government of Spain. That Irish immigrant was, of course, Andrew Jackson. I visited this small cottage homestead in Northern Ireland when I was a schoolboy living over there. And today, another son of Irish immigrants stands here to commemorate the occasion, also in uniform as a representative of the federal government and the United States military, but I think the similarities between myself and President Jackson probably end there. But it's an important point nonetheless. Immigrants have always played an important role in the growth of our nation, whether they were brought here by force or by their own free will. Immigrants have played an integral role to the story of Florida, and very much so here in Pensacola. If you should walk through the old civilian graveyard inside Barrancas National Cemetery, or wander through St. John's or St. Michael's or any of the others in the city, they are full of Pensacolans who began their lives somewhere else. Norwegians, Irish, Spanish, African, French, English, and many more. Jackson's promise that all inhabitants of the new territory of Florida should enjoy American constitutional rights, including the free enjoyment of their liberty, property, and religion, it may have rang hollow to a great number of Florida residents, especially the indigenous peoples, or those people who continue to live in bondage. But they are all part of the tapestry. All those people are part of the tapestry that has been woven by our many cultures and experiences to make Florida and Pensacola what it is today. So on July 17, 200 years ago, our Navy was only 46 years old. That's younger than I am now, believe it or not. The United States itself was only 45 years old. Thomas Jefferson and John Adams were in the final days of their renewed friendship, and James Monroe, a veteran of the War of Independence, was president. We had fought 2 wars against Great Britain and a quasi-war with France during that short time, and each war had been a life or death struggle for our very existence. The Navy played a pretty big part in all of those wars. So the people who stood on this ground 200 years ago knew perfectly well how tenuous this great experiment of democracy would be. So in 1826, when Commodore Warrington sailed his squadron of ships through the Pensacola Pass and into Pensacola Bay to establish the Navy Yard, I would imagine that the people of Pensacola were mighty glad to see the federal government take notice of their little town and place a permanent naval presence here. A presence that has lasted and thrived to this day. Florida is a maritime state. The ocean influences our weather, our commerce, the food we eat, the places we live, work, and play. The ocean is an intrinsic part of Floridians' lives. And so, being a maritime state, the Navy has played an important part in the development and growth of Florida, as much as Florida has played in the growth and history of the Navy. And so I stand here as a very proud son of immigrants and a very proud United States sailor to commemorate the importance of the United States flag being raised here 200 years ago, as we celebrate the promise of a bright and a prosperous future for our children and grandchildren over the next 200 years. So today in our capsule, to symbolize the strength of the bonds between our community and between the base, I'll be putting this patch that you're all familiar with. There's a painting that was drawn on the graffiti bridge. It became a patch, it became a banner, it became a symbol of our unity together. So 25 years from now, when that capsule is opened up again, I hope that people 25 years from now will appreciate the great bonds that we have between the military community and the civilian community here. So thank you.
Thank you, Captain Kinsella, and I am sure that we would not be the same without the presence of our Navy, our Army, our Air Force, and Coast Guard and Marines in our midst. They are part of us and we are part of them, and I appreciate that. Thank you again. And he's a history buff. One of the things, the next person that's going to speak to you is a very special person in our state. The Secretary of State is really responsible, oversees, and protects, among other things, our historical resources and archaeological resources in the state of Florida. We have a rich heritage, and she overlooks it and fiercely protects it. Please welcome Secretary of State for the state of Florida, Laurel Lee.
Well, good morning. And as Florida's Secretary of State and Chief Cultural Officer, it is my pleasure to be here with you today. I extend heartfelt greetings to all of you from Governor Ron DeSantis and Lieutenant Governor Jeanette Nunez. At the Florida Department of State, one of our important statutory roles is to protect, preserve, and to share the rich historical and cultural heritage of our great state. And I will tell you that in Tallahassee, this community is very ably well represented by the legislative delegation that you have. They come to Tallahassee and ensure that not just the members who live in this community, the civic and community leaders who are with us here today, but that all of Florida knows what a wonderful place Escambia County is to live, to receive an education, and to have a business. So I am honored to be here with all of you today. You are also incredibly ably represented by your Supervisor of Elections, David Stafford. He is a leader not only in our state, but in our nation when it comes to election integrity and security. So it is indeed a pleasure to be with all of you here today. I can think of few more memorable or enjoyable ways to celebrate the anniversary that brings us here together today than to gather as a community and reenact this major historical turning point in Florida's and Escambia County's history. Our culture continues to be complemented by the unique diversity of people who make home in our great state. We are frequently reminded of Spain's particular contributions to the state of Florida and the rich historical story of Escambia County. And now it is my honor to read Governor DeSantis' proclamation on the 200th anniversary of Escambia County, Florida. Whereas Spain formally ceded Florida to the United States under the terms of the Adams-Onis Treaty, and whereas on July 17, 1821, General Andrew Jackson oversaw the exchange of flags in Pensacola as West Florida formally passed from Spanish to American possession. And whereas on July 21, 1821, Escambia County was formally established, making it one of Florida's original counties. And whereas located on Florida's northwest coast, Escambia County stretches north to Alabama and south to the Gulf of Mexico. Whereas Escambia County has flourished from its culturally rich and diverse heritage and is home to members of the great Porch Band of Creek Indians. Whereas here in Florida we value the diverse cultures and traditions that make our state unique. Whereas Escambia County has become a popular destination for visitors to enjoy the pristine beaches and clear Gulf waters, as well as boating, fishing, golfing, and whereas the Oriskany, an 888-foot retired aircraft carrier and the largest artificial reef in the world, provides a stage for viewing whale sharks, amberjack, and reef fish off the coast of Escambia County. And whereas Escambia County is home to the Blue Angels, officially known as the U.S. Navy Flight Demonstration Squadron, who practice from their home base at Naval Air Station Pensacola. And whereas historic sites like Fort Pickens and the National Museum of Naval Aviation draw visitors, and whereas in the outlying areas of Escambia County, local family farms provide a picturesque landscape producing corn, cotton, peanuts, and dozens of fresh vegetables. And whereas Escambia County's bicentennial anniversary is an important opportunity to reflect upon the history and development of our great state while looking forward to a brighter future. Now therefore I, Ron DeSantis, Governor of the state of Florida, do hereby extend greetings and best wishes to all observing the 200th anniversary of Escambia County, Florida. I thank you for allowing me to participate in this exceptional event and to bring good tidings to you from the Governor and Tallahassee.
Thank you, Secretary Lee, and thanks to Governor DeSantis for that fine proclamation. We appreciate it very much, and you coming over and being with us. Now I want to bring on one of us, soon to be the powerful Appropriations Chair in the Florida Senate. He has represented our district for over a decade, both in the Florida House and the Senate. Please welcome Senator Doug Roxon.
Thank you. And I have to honor
my previous governor, Governor Scott, who was so faithful to this area. Not only did he deal with BP and bring billions of dollars to this area and helped create the Triumph, but he brought Navy Federal here through an effort that he shepherded. And also he is responsible for the new county jail by making sure that we had the federal dollars to do it. When I made the proclamation before the Senate back during the session, I told the story of Escambia County. Really, there were only 2 counties in Florida. Escambia, which went all the way over to Madison, and St. Johns County, which went all the way down to Key West. There was a battle between Escambia and St. Johns County, to a point that we were alternating which would be the capital each year, whether it be Pensacola or St. Augustine. And that's where we met as a legislature. We decided that we would meet in a central site, and we both departed at the same time and headed towards what is now known as Tallahassee to be our capital. But as I told the story, I mentioned President archaeologist Judy Bentz and how she had legitimized that Pensacola is really the oldest settlement in the state of Florida and not St. Augustine. Thank you. And I told a story about she and her students going through the bay and finding a ship. One of those ships was named El Jesus. Later on, they found a barge from Scandinavia named Skanska, but we will talk about that later. What a great time it is. What an honor to be here. My family's been here for over 200 years. Many of your families, the streets were named after them, very close to where we are. On behalf of the State Senate of Florida, I want to give this proclamation to Dr. Bentz, and thank you, Pensacola, thank you, Escambia, thank you, Florida, for such a great place that we live.
We found a Skanska barge. We did. So that was clever. Next, people who represent us in Tallahassee are extremely important to us on a personal, on a community, and a regional level. This House of Representative member is a native Pensacolian. She's an Army veteran. She's an alum of both Pensacola State and UWF, and is the newest member of our area's legislative team. Please welcome Representative Michelle Salzman.
Good morning. We're going to do something fun off script. I have a script, so I don't go over 3 minutes because I might get the knife. But I want to do something fun with the crowd. I'm going to say these words, and you're going to repeat them. And if I don't hear them loud enough, we're going to do it until you do. Okay, you ready? He's Jay. All right, Chief. So good morning on behalf of Florida's 1st District. I would like to welcome you to our celebration today. As my chief mentioned, this great city was founded by people of varying heritage and culture to create a better life for themselves and their descendants. I am a Creek Indian, and what our people do best is not just survive, but adapt to our environment and work with unity in all of life. As a native of this community, it is my distinct privilege to be a part of this historical, cultural occasion. Commerce by trade has made Pensacola a viable settlement, and as we move beyond our 200 years, we must continue to focus on diverse and sustainable growth while continuing to respect our heritage and our history. My dear friend Quint Studer said years ago, "We've got something magical here, and the only thing that we can do to mess it up is to become complacent, declare victory, and not keep the throttle down." It is no accident that Pensacola has thrived for so long. We have all gathered here in what is one of the most vibrant of communities in the entire state of Florida. We are a unique part of this great state with so many different cultures. Each culture brings traditions that define the people, and Pensacola has worked hard to protect and preserve what we have. All across the state, Northwest Florida is known for sugar white beaches, emerald green waters, pristine natural springs, and millennia-old cave systems. When I talk to other representatives and senators across the state, they all agree that our beaches and our waters are some of the best in Florida, some of the best in the world. Florida's northern Gulf Coast is one of the most desirable places to live, work, and play. But how do we keep Pensacola vibrant? I would like to share a couple of things that I think that we should all consider to encourage our continued success as a noteworthy community. Recognize our local talent, especially those that are bringing in revenue from outside of our community. Build those relationships and ensure that you have encouraged their presence. Build skills and leaders and great environments for startup businesses. I am a huge advocate for small businesses, as I am a small business owner of over a decade, and I know firsthand the struggles that we face. The second thing is, I want you to raise the public civic IQ. I encourage each of you to follow CivicCon, attend civic engagement events, and learn more not only about how to navigate our own community's ongoings and needs, but gain that international perspective. Finally, successful communities tend to be self-aware, and they are constantly assessing their own strengths and weaknesses. Using the same mentality you use in your own life and assessing your own personal growth, we should be doing that with our community as a whole. I will wrap up my comments with this. We are all one people, no matter our heritage, our color, religion, or even political party. We are all Pensacolians. We are all representatives of the Panhandle and of Florida. I am grateful for my chief and all he does to keep Pensacola's Native American history relevant, and I am certainly grateful for Judy Bentz and her incredible work she has done to create an all-inclusive ceremony. She has committed her life to the historic preservation of Northwest Florida, establishing the Archaeology Institute, the UWF Department of Anthropology, and the statewide Florida Public Archaeology Network. Let us not forget how we got here, but let's always keep our focus on tomorrow. The cornerstone of economic development is education. I urge all who are listening to learn our history, embrace our past, and use it to recommence this incredible Northwest Florida to continue its momentum. Mado.
Thank you very much, Representative Salzman. I had no idea that you were Creek, and I'm just so happy about it. That's great. Multiculturalism is alive and well here with us. Now I want to bring up someone who has been elected and re-elected to our House of Representatives and is now the Republican Committee Whip. He has represented us since 2018. Please welcome Representative Alex Andrade.
Thank you, Dr. Bentz. When I heard that there was going to be a 25-year time capsule, I wrote a 10-page letter to the Escambia residents of 2046, but I promise I'm only going to read a 2-minute excerpt from that 10-page letter. So if you'll just bear with me. Dear 2046 Escambia County residents, hello from 2021. I assume you don't know me, just like I had to look up and make sure who were the politicians of 1996. For reference, John Fogg was our mayor, and my predecessors were men like Jerry Maygarden today, Jerry Melvin, and Buzz Ritchie in the Florida legislature. And one current county commissioner, Lumen May, was just graduating from the University of West Florida in '96, go Argos. And our commissioner here on the dais with us was a sophomore at Pensacola High School at PHS. Nationally in '96, the Cowboys won their final forever Super Bowl. Braveheart won Best Picture at the Academy Awards. Operation Desert Strike was occurring in Iraq. Michael Jordan starred in Space Jam, and Apple was announcing the purchase of Steve Jobs' company Next, paving the way for his return as CEO of Apple. Most importantly, Republican Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich and Democrat President Bill Clinton were paving a bipartisan trail towards the last balanced federal budgets we may see in my lifetime, unless Senator Scott has something different to say about that. 96 seems simultaneously a lifetime ago and just yesterday. 25 years later, LeBron James is starring in Space Jam, and while Steve Jobs might be gone, our lives are all improved by his brainchild, the iPhone. Today, we've sent American soldiers to the Middle East for 20 consecutive years. Our nation's divided along insurmountable political, racial, and economic lines, and our economy is recovering in the wake of a global pandemic. 2021 saw American rioters storm our U.S. Capitol, and other Americans equate protected speech they disagreed with to violence, and violence they agreed with to protected speech. While our technology and our quality of life have dramatically improved since 1996, we still have work to do. So in 2046, when I am 56 years old, hopefully reading this along with all of you, my hope is that we've moved on from hating and dehumanizing our political opponents. I hope the improvements we're now making to protect our environment have taken hold, and we still value and enjoy our fundamental freedoms as the unique American rights they truly are. Most importantly, I hope we're showing true care and love for our neighbors, and that we still, as we do today, feel blessed to be residents living in the greatest region of the greatest state of the greatest country the world has ever seen. There's no time in American history where we could all agree that America is a perfect union. But I hope that as you're reading this in 2046, you can say with the same confidence I say today, America is a more perfect union than it was yesterday. It's a more perfect union than it was in 1996, and it will become a more perfect union so long as we all maintain the faith and remember what makes us so special. Thank you.
Those are important words. We should all remember them, that we are joined together and that we need to work together. And when we do, look at what happens. We have a great multicultural, important celebration that we can enjoy just being together as Pensacolians. Speaking of Pensacola, speaking of Escambia County, now we have a person who was born and raised in Pensacola. He now represents Escambia County District 4, and he's chairman of the Board of County Commissioners, none other than Commissioner and Chair, Mr. Robert Bender.
Thank you, Dr. Benz. As chairman for the Escambia County Board of County Commissioners, I would like to thank you and all the 200th Commission members for your hard work sharing Escambia County's history over the past year. I'd also like to thank the media for their partnership in sharing these stories that this commission passionately researched. I'd also like to recognize Vice Chairman Jeff Bergosh, District 1 County Commissioner. Also Wes Moreno, our interim county administrator, and his assistant Sharon Pitts. Our Public Safety Director Eric Gilmore, and Laura Cole, our Public Information Officer, who has helped organize this and was also serving on the commission. So thank you all for your great work today. I know Escambia County Supervisor of Elections David Stafford was already recognized, but I'd like to recognize him again because he does do a great job. He's worthy of 2 recognitions. And also Sheriff Chip Simmons, who the Sheriff's Department was correct in having short-sleeve uniforms. So thank you, Sheriff, for your great work that you do for Escambia County. We appreciate it. I'd also like to recognize the City of Pensacola Mayor Grover Robinson, who was the District 4 County Commissioner prior to me. He was instrumental in putting this 200th commission together, and we thank him for his vision. America's history begins right here, a half-century before the arrival of the Pilgrims at Plymouth. In 1821, there were approximately 2,500 residents in Escambia County, compared to approximately 320,000 today. As population increased in the frontier territory for our original county, 21 counties were later organized from Escambia County, including our neighbors to the east, Santa Rosa County in 1842. I'm glad Commissioner Colton Wright was able to join us today. Thank you, Bill. The county is also finalizing its budget for the upcoming year, which made me think, what if Escambia County had the budget and population of 22 counties? we would have more than $2.5 billion in funding and 1.35 million residents. The name Escambia was derived from the Creek name Shambia, meaning clear water. Our Natural Resources Management Department is committed to keeping our environment pristine. Our Marine Resource Division is dedicated to keeping our emerald waters healthy for our abundant sea life. And today, Escambia County has over 150 public artificial reefs for everyone to share. We are home to the most beautiful beaches in the world, and I am proud to call Escambia County my home. I hope you are too. I want to take a moment to thank all the residents who are engaged in our government. Thank you for your attendance today. It's always going to take open dialogue and continuous improvement to provide efficient, responsive services that enhance our quality of life, meet common needs, and promote a safe and healthy community. Look how far we have come in 200 years. On behalf of the Escambia County Board of County Commissioners, I'm dedicating a proclamation to the time capsule. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Bender, for those good words. And now, we are getting very close to home. We now have a man whose family has been in this area of Pensacola and Escambia and Santa Rosa County for 7 generations. Can anybody in the audience beat that? I don't think so. 7's a lot. He is an advocate for history and archaeology. Please welcome our great mayor for the city of Pensacola, Grover Robinson.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. I do want to recognize just a couple of people starting out front. One of the individuals who is very important to this group in what we're doing is Councilman Tignati Broughton. I see Councilwoman Broughton. I appreciate her being here. I've seen Frenchie Moore, but I have not seen our council president, but I bet he's here somewhere, Jared Moore. And if we have any other council members, I just couldn't see you out there. Please stand up. We certainly appreciate you being a part of this as well. I quickly want to thank especially some people. We have some people here that are taking care of our public safety. I see Chief Randall, Deputy Chief Chrisman, Deputy Chief Jester here. Certainly appreciate Pensacola Fire and Pensacola Police being here, taking care of everybody today. So thank you very much for being here. I also see our city administrator who will be leaving us soon, but certainly couldn't have done all this without him. Certainly see Keith Wilkins, and I saw Lawrence Powell and some other people with the city. Certainly Casey Lagarde here helping us take care of everything. Thank you to all our city employees, and thank you for being here. Lastly, I'd like to recognize 2 mayors who I understand are here, who I'm going to say they're part of Escambia County because that's where they originally started. The mayor of Milton, who works for the city of Pensacola, but is my good classmate from Washington High School, Heather Lindsay, Mayor Lindsay, and from Gulf Breeze, my friend who I enjoy that I can actually go see now in 2 minutes rather than half an hour, Mayor Cherry Fitch. Well, thank you very much for being here. This is an incredible day that I never expected. I had in my dreams what this is going to look like, but it looks better than I ever could have imagined. I remember going to Florida Association of Counties trainings and going forward and telling people I was from Escambia County, and they acted like they had never heard of this place or where it was. And I didn't want to tell some of them that you were actually part of Escambia County at one time, but again, this is where we are. I think it's very important that we remember how things started and where they are in the first that we've been here. Certainly, my father's mother, my paternal grandmother, she used to have a saying that in our family, in the greater Caldwell family, we didn't perspire, we sweat. So I know there are many of you out there, so I'm going to try to make this short. But her family came here shortly in 1820, and they certainly came to this place, and they stuck it out. They got past the heat and the mosquitoes, and they realized what now 21 million other people realize. that Florida is a great place to be, and it's an incredible part of the United States, becoming more important every single year. Putting together leadership, whether it's leading our country or leading the world in whatever we're doing, Florida is at the forefront of what is happening. It's because of you. We celebrate several firsts that have occurred in this community, whether it's the first skyscraper being built that I can see right from the podium here, whether it is the first carrier landing that occurred, whether it is the first settlement and a variety of other firsts that have happened. We will continue to make history in Pensacola and Escambia County in being the first. But we aren't we aren't just looking at what we've done and settled with what we've been. We're always looking to be Florida's future. And I think there's nowhere that things are as brighter. I look forward to the day of 2046. And by the way, 56 is really young. I say that every day now at 51, that 56 is very young. But I look forward to 2046 because I believe at that point, Northwest Florida will be a leader like none other, not just in Florida, but in this country and in the world, what we continue to do here. We have great beginnings that we are celebrating today, but what we really have is an unlimited future that sits before us. And thank each one of you for being here and a part of that setting that future, because we will be greater in 2046 than we ever are today. Pensacola, Florida, Escambia County, we are Florida's first, but we are Florida's future as well. So thank you very much for being here today. Thank you, Dr. Benz, and your group who put this on today. We have several things we would like to add to the time capsule, and we look forward to when it's opened in 2046 and seeing Northwest Florida being the leader of our country. Thank you very much.
That's the end of our speakers. So let's give them all a great big hand. Now we move to a different part of our program, one that involves sort of a more personal and local flavor. First of all, the time capsule we've been talking about. The Pensacola News Journal assisted the commission with the time capsule project. They created and first publishing the form that the participants filled out. All these articles are being held by the Historic Trust, and they are inventorying and cataloging them and securing all the items in the time capsule so that in 2046 you all will be able to see what we left behind. We also had an essay contest, and the theme of the essay contest is what it means to be an American. And none other than Caitlin Moore, a 5th grader in Sacred Heart Cathedral School, won this contest and is going to come up here excuse me, and read her essay. Where is Caitlin? Oh good, she's right there. Please give her a warm welcome, Caitlin Moore.
I'm excited to be here today to celebrate America's first city that I call home and share what it means to me to being an American. Being an American can mean many different things, but to me the most important part of being an American is our independence and our freedoms. We are free to speak our opinions, we are free to believe in our religions, and we are free to assemble for things that mean the most to us. But as Americans, we have responsibilities also. We are responsible for following the law. We are responsible for defending our nation. We are responsible for serving as a juror to our courts. And of course, we are responsible for paying our taxes. As Americans, we are also obligated to vote and attend civic meetings to help us stay informed of what is going on in our country. In America, you are also free to do anything you've always wanted to do, like get a new hairstyle, learn to play an instrument, or even go on vacation to my favorite place in Florida, Disneyland. In America, if you work hard, you can be whatever you want to be when you grow up, like a doctor, lawyer, teacher, or an actress like I want to be when I grow up. This is what it means to me to be an American, and why I love living in America and in Florida, and most especially here in America's first city. Happy anniversary, Pensacola.
That young lady's going to go far. Thank you, Caitlin, very much. Now we are going to have a very special treat experience that is very patriotic and is performed by Dr. Leo Day. He is the executive pastor of worship at the Thomasville Road Baptist Church in Tallahassee right now. But he is also formerly the music director at Olive Baptist Church. He also has performed with the Pensacola Choral Society and our Pensacola Opera and Symphony. He will sing American, and he does sing America the Beautiful at all of our naturalization ceremonies in Pensacola, and he sings them in the languages of the new U.S. citizens. That's quite a feat. He is a thrilling and gifted singer. We're in for a wonderful experience. Welcome back, Dr. Day.
Thank you, Dr. Benz. It's good to be home in Pensacola, Florida. I usually will sing about 12, 15 verses of this song in many different languages, but I've chosen, because it's hot, only 4. And everyone says, praise God. I will do, obviously, English, Russian, Korean, German, and Spanish. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesties above the fluted plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Прекрасная небес, янтарный цвет полей, с пурпурными горами равнины за садом. Америка, Америка, Господь хранит тебя, венчает братской добротой с утра и до зари. O Armdaun Hanilgoa, Juan Golmol Hiolbora, Un Juan Huarioga Antong, Un Tang Hanyolme, America, America, 하나님 운해라 영재 사랑과 멸관 영원히 빛나리 Wunderschön mit Weidam, Himmel und Wieganden Felsen. Feldern prachtvolle Berge, über fruchtbare Erde, Amerika, Amerika, Gottes Gnade fällt auf dich und krönt dich mit Brüderschaft von Meer zu Meer. O hermosa cielo azul, de valles de esplendor, por majestuosas montañas lías, abajo la prospera de América, Dios rociosa gracia en ti, y coronó de bien hermandad del mar al mar brillante. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home, America, America. God bless America.
Thank you so much, Dr. Day. You have blessed us with your appearance and lifting our spirits. All right. We're going to do something different now. Next, after the colors are retired, we on the stage are going to go down the center aisle to the flagpole in the back. Once we get about halfway, you guys stand up and follow us there, because we're going to have the Spanish flag lowering and the United States flag going up. And we're going to have a gun salute. The reenactors are bringing their loaded muskets, only with gunpowder, no bullets. And so we're going to have a big bang afterwards. Our UWF bands will be playing our national anthem at the same time. And we're also going to have a flyover by the 6th Training Wing of the Navy. So we are going to, after we do that, we're going to go over to the historical marker. It will be unveiled by Commissioner Bender and Mayor Robinson. And we'll just stand in the street close to it. And so we're going to go from the flagpole and just move over to where the historical marker is. And that will end the formal program. Then we're going to have lunch at the food trucks. Enjoy it. Afternoon, at exactly noon, the scavenger hunt is going to start at Fiesta Tent. And it will end at 2 o'clock here on stage. The winner's name will be drawn from a hat of successful competitors. At 1 o'clock, Hispanic dancers will be right here doing an incredibly well-costumed and wonderful performance. At 2 p.m., African dance performers will come on and the scavenger hunt winner will occur. Also, after that, after about 2:30, the keelboat tours over in Spit Slip will go on until 4 p.m. and all the museums will be open and free. So enjoy the Historic District and our museums. Now we will go to the flagpole and we'll start that ceremony now. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Well done, Dr. Dennis.
Thank you, sister.
See Mr. from behind? Good. Well done, y'all. Yes, sir. See Mr. from behind the flag? Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we can all come up. Thank you.
Down.
Attention, company. Shoulder up. Color party, host the color.
Right.
Right, so you're just going to be right there. And then everybody else can fill in. Yes, sir. Facing this way. Same with you. Shall I?
We didn't sing Happy Birthday to Escambia County.
Let's do that.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Escambia County. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Escambia County. Happy birthday to you. Hey. Don't look a day over 150.
Yeah. All right. Yes, there's Spanish on the other side, English on this side. Yes.
Can we eat now? Enjoy the festivities. Thank you all very much for coming. We really, really do appreciate it.
Really appreciate your efficiency.
I'm going to get some food.